Thank you very much, Jeremy. And Jenna, Coach Turper before this game earlier this week said this was going to be the biggest game of the year, and you could feel it already here on the sidelines.
For sure. As this is the biggest game, it's definitely one of the toughest games that Ithaca has had to face all season long. And we've been talking about from the beginning, defense has been so strong this year with only allowing 14 points in a game. But RPI is in the exact same thing, also only allowing 14 points a game. But I think what's going to make Ithaca a bit more dominant is not only is their defense good at stopping the ball, they're good at scoring themselves, having 4 defensive touchdowns as well.
And you mentioned the defense. It was a tight one a couple weeks ago for this RPI team against Hobart. They entered that fourth quarter trailing 13-2, were able to come back in the final couple of minutes, and quarterback Jake Kozanowski talked to the media after the game and described it as a dogfight, saying one of the first times it was that they had to come together as a team. And Connor Noyes, a defender, echoed it as well, calling it a family, saying that when the offense isn't stepping up, the defense will. And that is going to be huge for them moving down the stretch here. I mean, it's family night technically here on the South Hill for the Bombers, but RPI is bringing that same energy this evening as well. Guys?
To Max Tanzer right now. He's got a hit on the sideline for us. Max?
Thanks, guys. And Connor spoke to it just a little bit, but the intensity of the sideline, especially with how early it is a lot larger to start this game off. I mean, Ithaca knows this RPI offense has been probably one of their weaker spots this season, and they cannot afford to let them take a big lead right here. After that second stop, a ton of positivity moving into that drive, of course, where A.J. Wingfield was able to drive down. For RPI, the one-possession game, that's their style of play. They've played 24 of them dating all the way back to 2017. That's accounted for 44% of their games in that span. They're 20-4 in those situations with 2 wins, of course, against the Bombers. So if you're Ithaca right now, you need to continue to add on. Guys? Here we go. We talked about earlier in the game, RPI dominates the one-possession game. They also have dominated the second half against their respective opponents this year. They've scored 90 points in the second half, which accounts for 60% of their entire point total this season. And again, we see the forced fumble right there. They're marching down the field. On top of that, their defense has shut out 4 of their 7 opponents in the second half as well. So Ithaca is going to here. Guys?
Tanzer before RPI's offense gets back underway. Max?
Thanks, guys. After that A.J. Wingfield touchdown, he was hit pretty hard, and that seemed to have lit a fire for not only this Ithaca offensive line, but the team as a whole. After the touchdown on the sidelines, the entire offensive line was just iterating the fact that we got to finish this game now. Obviously, they know the weaknesses that this RPI offense has. If they can extend their lead right here, they got to feel a lot more comfortable. Guys? Here with head coach Mike Turper. And coach, the 5-game losing streak against RPI is over. How does it feel?
About them. It ain't about them. Never was. Never will be. It's always a guys. They fought so hard. We talked about whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. However long it takes. I don't know how, who, what, where, why.
And you mentioned earlier in the week this was the biggest game of the year. Walk me through your game plan and how you guys were able to execute that.
Just want to be loose. Clarity.
And your quarterback, A.J. Wingfield, he grinded tonight, used his feet a little bit more this evening as well. Was that part of the game plan?
He's a warrior. Yes, what the game plan. We go as far as he goes. We love him. I love all these guys.
Absolutely, and I mean, the mob scene behind us earlier, walk me through what your message was to your team and how special it was and rewarding it was to celebrate with them.
It's going to be a 12-round fight, body blows, body blows, body blows. And was trying to come knock him out, knock him out.
Once again, head coach Mike Turper of the victorious Bombers. Jeremy, back to you. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Jeremy. And for A.J. Wingfield, after that touchdown drive right there, walking back onto the sideline again, very stoic as per usual, but you could tell this Bombers offense wants to pour it on tonight, make it a little bit easier for them as they get into the back of this game. If you flash back to last week, they got off to a quick start, then a little bit of a lull offensively towards the conclusion of the second half. I'm sure Mike Turper and the rest of their gang would feel very comfortable if they could jump out aggressively here early, especially with the capabilities that this defense has. Guys? Thank you very much, Jeremy. And as you mentioned, this is just all Bombers as we speak right now. For Alfred, it's been such a struggle in the second half. Now, you can argue when you get into a blowout, maybe you take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit, but you got to imagine there's just a chip on their shoulder for Alfred to just try and get off the board right now. In the second half, dating back to 2021, in 4 of their last 5 matchups, they've been shut out. If you go back to 9 of the last 12, they have been trailing as well. So again, just trying to get off the schneid right here with just a handful of minutes to go. Guys?
It's great to admire is there's the shot again. And if we weren't calling a game, maybe that would be a great place to spend our Saturday. And, Zook Smith going back to work here. And we're going to send it down to Max Tanzer, who has another hit for us. Max, what do you want to say?
I'll tell you what I got to say, Jeremy. I mean, you're talking about the sailboats over there. That's been a tradition, I'm sure, in Ithaca for a long time coming. I mean, I remember back in the 30s when I was sailing down there. I also remember in 1933 when these first two teams faced off against each other. It's the second longest rivalry in Ithaca College history. They faced off just over 60 times. Ithaca's won 41 of those, including 3 in a row. And, of course, continue to dominate the scene here tonight. So whether you got your sailboat tradition, Ithaca, or Alfred, it's quite a historic day here at Butterfield. Thanks, guys. We're joined by lineman Jason Green. And Jason, I mean, got to ask about pick 6 right there. How'd that feel? Walk me through the emotions.
Honestly, I read it pretty quick. In my head, I kind of said like I was going to get the pick, but being in the end zone was pretty surreal, especially for a lineman. I mean, that's all of our dreams is to get in the end zone one time, so I had to do a little dive at the end, but, I mean, pretty God for that.
Absolutely. Your first pick in your collegiate career. When you came back to the sidelines, all your teammates were asking for autographs, talking about the little somersault into the end zone. How special was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, we're a special group. We're real. I mean, we say it all the time. We're the closest group anyone's ever been with, so I think that's true. And I had to cover my head. I was getting hit in the head a little too much, but, yeah, it was fun.
Absolutely. And speak to the defense here, limiting Alfred to 3 points. You shut out Brockport last week as well. How good is this defense?
Yeah, man. We had a struggle in camp, finding our identity, man. We had a couple injuries, a couple unfortunate times, but we got shit together. We got a bunch of good guys across the board trying to do something special. We believe in each other, and we're going to keep on working.
Mr. Green with the pick 6 leads Ithaca to a blowout win. Back to you guys in the booth.